Welcome to the Old Lumens channel again. I have some lights to review. The first light I'm reviewing is a Tank007, and it's the E06 flashlight. Comes in a little padded envelope and a cardboard box. It's a 2AA flashlight made to carry in a pocket. Has a clip for it. And overall, just first initial thoughts on looking at the light is that it's very well made. It has really nice fit and finish. The only thing that I could say negative about it would be the clip, and I've noticed the clip on all these are the same. They're not done well. It looks very much like they were either not cleaned real well before they were plated, or they were plated in a dirty plating tank. One or the other. It's hard to tell the difference, but I can see little dots of foreign material, little specks here and there of foreign material in the plating, plated right over. So it was either because they weren't cleaned correctly before they were plated, or they were just had a dirty plating tank when it was done. This light is one that you screw apart in the middle. It comes apart in two halves, and it takes two AAA batteries, and I have envelopes to use in it. Okay, the light to me appears to be, and I didn't go look at the website, okay, but it appears to be like a P4 LED, which I'm sort of surprised they used that old of an LED. They didn't go with something like an XPG or something like that. But it looks to be like a P4. It's not a real high output light. It's made more of a pen light. It has a clicky switch on the back that feels fairly good. I don't know how long and how dependable, but it feels like a fairly good switch. And it's flush, okay? And the way the clip is made, you see the end of the clip comes almost flush with the back. So when you put this thing in your pocket, basically you can, if you have a pocket with a flap over top, it won't stick up and stick out, and that's what I like about it. You won't even notice it's there, okay, except for the clip itself. It's a single mode. It's just an on and off, and that's it. Okay. Not super bright. I think the claim is maybe somewhere around 120 lumens. Possibly. I would think a little bit less than that. I'm going to go through a little bit of the tear down to see the inside of it. But like I say, overall fit and finish, very nice. The seam, heck, you can't even hardly tell there is a seam when it's put together. And the knurling is a real nice job on it. It feels good in the hand, not like it's going to slip away from you. Okay. I'll go ahead and take it apart here. Like I say, it takes two AAA batteries, and I'm using envelopes in it. There's an O-ring for the center seam here of the body. The threads are cut fairly well. They're really not chipped and ragged. They're pretty smooth. It seems to me like there's possibly a little bit of lube on them, and you can hear they're not really they're not squeaking and squealing or anything like that. So overall, that's done real well. In order to get to the driver, and I'm going from memory here, if I can remember, I think I have to go down inside and unscrew the driver. So, because I don't believe that this comes apart here, it doesn't look like there's a possibility. Hang on a second here. Yeah, it looks like there may be a seam right here to get to that head area, and that may be glued, but I'll have to investigate that seam and see if I can do a little tear down with it. It doesn't push out or anything like that, so I'll have to get to look at that. The tail end, there is a seam here on the back end, okay, where the clip is, and I'm going to lift the clip off so it doesn't scrape. Okay. And there's a back end here. That is the clicky for the tail cap. And I just want to see, this appears to me like, yeah, see, they're not really, it probably wouldn't take just one, you know, it probably would take just a single. So you could probably make this into a single with a 10440. See, well, it's working with a single AA right there. You see that? Not as bright as two, but it's working with a single. So actually, you know, you could probably convert this to a single AA light right there. See, we're you know, it's not super bright, but it's not too bad. That's on a single AA, so the driver's got to be able to accept, you know, probably down to 1 volt anyways, or maybe even 0.8 or 0.7 volt for the driver, and up to probably 3 volt, or, you know, with two, if two alkalines, it would be up to 3 volt at least. So that's pretty interesting. I did not really realize that, but and I think this will screw together. We'll see if it will or not here in a second. I don't want to, the clip being bent so far, I don't want to damage the light, the finish, but we'll see if it, yep, it screws together. So there you go. That would work with a single shorty, okay. Might even be able to handle a 10440 in it. Very interesting, okay. So we have a possibility of a 1 AA light or 2 AA light, and possibly using a single 10440 with it, okay. I will investigate more into the showing you the guts of it here in just a few seconds. Okay, with my handy little leather jawed vise, I was able to go ahead and get this section apart. This is the head section. It looks like there might have been a little bit of, quite a little bit of some form of glue in here. It doesn't look like it's a thread locker. It might have simply been some form of glue. It came apart fairly easily after putting the head in the vise and then just twisting real hard. So here's another O-ring in here, and inside here is the driver, okay, and that looks like it is screwed in, so it would be a pill that unscrews all the way. We'll take a look at that in a second. Okay, so definitely after taking this apart, we have, it looks like a P4. All right, it's set in a hollow. I'm sorry about that. It's set in a sort of a cutout in there, okay, and then the driver is in the back side. All right. Looks like there's some thermal compound down there in the bottom, maybe to hold the driver in place. All right. Then this is a glass lens. Okay, and appears to be an aluminum reflector. All right, very small aluminum reflector, very shallow. Okay, so as far as modding it, I can't tell you yet what the amp draws on a driver. I'll put it back together and I'll check that. But obviously you could do something with it, maybe an 8mm star, possibly even a 10mm star, but it's hollow in the center, so you'd have to do a little building up in there, and might even have to shave off the brass a little bit. But overall, it's able to be modded, like maybe with a little XPG in it, or something like that for an LED in place of that P4. It'd probably give you a little bit more light out of it, a few more lumens out of it. So anyhow, that's about it. Overall, it's I think it's a very nice light. It's a very nice pen light, and now that I realize that it can be made into a single AA, I think it's a quite versatile light. Single AA, probably a 10440, and also 2AA. So there's a lot of versatility with that light, and I want to thank T-Mart for sending this light to me. They sent me a couple lights. They've been very good about sending me lights for review, and I've enjoyed working with them. And again, thanks for watching. Okay, real quick, let me give you some numbers here. I've done some amp draws. First of all, the light itself with two of the AAA batteries in it weighs 54 grams. The overall length is 123 millimeters, and the diameter is 14 millimeter. Okay. Now, I've tested it with a single AAA battery, NIM battery, and loop, and I get 1.5 amp draw at the battery, tested at the battery, negative end of the battery against the case. And if I compress the spring all the way, it goes up to 1.8 amp draw. Now, with two of the AAA batteries, my amp draw is 1.2 amps, and even with spring compressed, it's 1.2 amps. With a single 10440, my amp draw is 1.2 amps. So what that tells me is that it will work with a single AAA battery, but it's going to take more amps from the battery to equal the same amount of juice going to the LED. Since I'm not measuring at the LED itself, I'm measuring draw from the battery. So the driver will draw, or will work with one single AAA battery to make it a shorty, but it will draw quite a bit more juice out of that one battery than it would with two, because each of the two batteries basically is drawing 600 mA through each. Okay. Anyways, that's a few figures for it, and that's it. Thank you.